Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of United Kingdom 1 shilling coins. We'll explore the top 5 most valuable 1 shilling coins, focusing on different years, conditions, and mint marks that make these coins prized by collectors worldwide. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collection, this guide will give you insights into what makes these coins truly special. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from 1959, specifically in circulated condition. Whether you're a new collector, a seasoned enthusiast, or simply someone curious about the hidden value of old pocket change, this video will walk you through everything you need to know. We'll explore the history behind the coin, what makes it stand out among mid-20th century British currency, how its condition affects rarity and demand, and most importantly, what it's worth today in the auction market, converted into US dollars. So sit back and enjoy this detailed deep dive into a classic pre-decimal British coin. The 1959 1 shilling coin belongs to the final decade of the pre-decimal system used in the United Kingdom before decimalisation in 1971. At that time, 1 shilling represented 1/20th of a pound, or 12 old pence. This coin comes from the later years of Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, showcasing one of the early portraits sculpted by Mary Gillick, which was widely admired for its youthful and elegant depiction of the Queen. The coin was minted in large quantities to meet the economic and public demand of post-war Britain. Although these coins were everyday currency, they now stand as historical markers of a bygone monetary era, making them desirable for collectors who appreciate mid-century British heritage. The 1959 1 shilling coin carries several unique characteristics that set it apart from other British denominations. First, its composition is cupronickel, marking the transition away from earlier silver-based shillings. The obverse features the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, without a crown, symbolizing grace and modernity during the early years of her rule. The reverse design depends on the type issued: that year English shield type featuring the 3 lions passant, Scottish shield type featuring the crowned Scottish lion. These two varieties were created to recognize the cultural identities of England and Scotland, adding a layer of national representation and giving collectors 2 distinct designs to pursue. The well-defined heraldic symbols, crisp lettering, and traditional layout make the 1959 shilling an attractive piece even in circulated condition. While the 1959 1 shilling is not considered rare in general, condition plays a major role in determining desirability. In circulated or even damaged condition, these coins are far more common and were widely used in day-to-day transactions. However, collectors still show interest in circulated examples due to the historical and artistic value, especially for those completing date runs of pre-decimal shillings. Coins with heavy wear, scratches, dents, or discoloration hold low rarity value, but some collectors still seek them for educational purposes, budget collections, or as filler pieces. On the other hand, lightly circulated coins with legible details tend to attract moderate demand, particularly for the Scottish shield type, which is slightly more popular among collectors. The sentimental connection to the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II also boosts interest even for circulated coins. When it comes to market value, circulated 1959 1 shilling coins generally sell for modest prices due to their availability. In today's online auctions, coin fairs, and collector markets, a heavily circulated or damaged 1959 1 shilling usually sells for around $432,000. A typical circulated grade with moderate wear may fetch between $114,000. Better preserved circulated examples could reach $122,000, depending on the design type and eye appeal. Exceptional circulated coins with clear details or partial mint luster sometimes go higher, especially if the buyer is completing a full pre-decimal shilling set. Prices remain stable, but interest has increased slightly among collectors of Queen Elizabeth II's early portrait coins. If you're thinking about adding a 1959 1 shilling to your collection, focus first on condition. Even though circulated coins are common, selecting one with strong detail on the shield and a clean portrait of the Queen can enhance long-term value. Always inspect the lettering around the rim and check for corrosion or deep scratches, which greatly reduce appeal. Consider collecting both the English and Scottish types for a complete representation of that year's issues. Check auction listings frequently. Sometimes mixed lots include hidden gems. For storage, use protective coin flips or capsules to prevent further wear. And most importantly, buy from reputable sellers, especially when purchasing online, to ensure authenticity and accurate grading. The United Kingdom 1 shilling from 1959 may not be rare in circulated condition, but it remains a cherished piece of British numismatic history. Its connection to the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, combined with its elegant heraldic designs, gives it lasting collector appeal. While its market value is modest, especially for worn examples, it is still a wonderful and affordable addition to any collection. Whether you're building a full set of pre-decimal coins or simply exploring British currency history, the 1959 shilling is a coin worth appreciating. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from 1950, specifically in very fine condition. Whether you're a beginner collector, a long-time enthusiast, or just someone curious about old British coins and their market value, this video will walk you through everything you need to know. From its important background to its collector interest, rarity, and actual value in today's auction market, we've got it all covered. So sit back, relax, and let's jump straight into the world of the 1951 shilling coin. The 1951 shilling coin belongs to the pre-decimal era of British currency, a time when shillings, florins, and half-crowns were still in circulation. Before the decimalisation of 1971, 1 shilling was equal to 12 old pence, and 20 shillings made up a pound. The 1950 issue features the portrait of King George VI, the father of Queen Elizabeth II, making it part of an important chapter in British royal history. Minted in cupra nickel, this coin marks the early post-World War II period, when the United Kingdom was rebuilding and modernising. Although minted in large numbers, coins that have survived in collectible condition tell a remarkable story of everyday British life during the mid-20th century. One of the most appealing features of the 1951 shilling is its classic design. On the obverse side, you'll find the dignified portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. On the reverse, the English crest appears for the English version of the shilling, featuring a crowned lion standing proudly on the royal crown. The details, especially in very fine condition, remain crisp enough to showcase the artistry, including the lion's manner, the small lettering, and the texture around the edges. Its 23.5 mm diameter and silver-like appearance give the coin a timeless aesthetic that collectors love. While the 1951 shilling is not considered extremely rare overall, its rarity significantly changes based on condition. Damaged, heavily worn, or corroded examples are very common because these coins circulated widely for decades. Collectors usually pass over damaged pieces unless they are part of a bulk lot or purchased for sentimental or educational purposes. In contrast, very fine condition, like the one we are discussing today, is much more desirable. Clear features, minimal wear, and no major dents or corrosion help the coin hold a stronger collectible value. These factors increase demand among collectors who specialize in King George VI coinage or mid-century British currency. Now let's talk about what most of you came for the coin's value. In very fine condition, the 1950 UK 1 shilling typically sells in the range of $433,000, depending on the buyer and the platform. However, at auctions where collectors specifically seek this date or condition, some pieces can reach up to $324,000 if the coin has particularly strong eye appeal. Although it's not among the highly valuable British coins, it still carries a respectable premium compared to worn or damaged examples, which usually sell for only $223,000. The coin's value is steady, supported by ongoing interest in George VI-era numismatics. If you're thinking about collecting or selling a 1951 shilling, here are a few quick but important tips. First, always compare your coin's condition to grading charts. Small differences in wear can affect value. Secondly, look for coins with original surfaces. Polished coins lose value even if they look shiny. Third, consider storing your coin in protective flips or capsules to prevent further wear. Finally, keep an eye on online auction trends. Prices can vary slightly from month to month, especially when interest in historical British coins increases. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into the United Kingdom 1 shilling from 1950. While it may not be the rarest or most expensive coin out there, it carries historical charm and steady collectible value, especially in very fine condition. Whether you're hoping to add one to your collection or simply learning more about British pre-decimal currency, this coin offers an intriguing story and a piece of history worth appreciating. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling dated 1948, specifically in bad or heavily worn condition. Many collectors often come across old shillings that have seen decades of circulation, and they wonder whether these damaged pieces still carry any rarity or value. In this video, we'll explore its background, unique features, rarity level, and what it might actually sell for in the modern auction market, especially in US dollars. So, let's begin our numismatic journey and uncover the real worth of this mid-20th century coin. The 1948 1 shilling coin comes from the reign of King George VI, who ruled during a transformative period following World War II. This coin was part of the United Kingdom's pre-decimal monetary system, where 1 shilling equaled 12 pence and 20 shillings made £1. The 1948 issue reflects a time of recovery, reconstruction, and economic adjustment in Britain. These coins were minted in cupra nickel, replacing earlier silver compositions due to the wartime need for metals. Although millions were produced, the coin remained significant as a piece of British history that circulated widely through the late 1940s and 1950s. On the obverse side, the 1948 shilling features the portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. Even in bad condition, many coins still show traces of the king's profile, although often heavily worn and lacking sharp detail. The reverse design varies depending on whether the coin is the English or Scottish version. The English type displays a crowned lion standing proudly on a crown, while the Scottish version features a crowned shield with a ramping lion. Despite wear and damage, these symbols represent deeply rooted cultural and national identity. The coin's 23.5mm diameter and grey metallic tone are trademarks of mid-century British cupronickel coinage. While the 1948 shilling is an interesting historical piece, it is not considered rare, especially in damaged condition. Since the coin was produced in large numbers and circulated extensively, heavily worn or corroded examples are extremely common. Collectors generally do not seek badly damaged pieces unless they are starting a low-budget collection or purchasing mixed lots for study or display. Demand is noticeably higher for well-preserved examples graded very fine or higher. Bad condition coins, on the other hand, are easy to find and have very limited collector premium. However, they still hold sentimental and historical value for those who appreciate everyday artifacts from the post-war era. When it comes to market value, coins in bad or heavily worn condition sell for very little. On online auction platforms, a 1948 1 shilling in poor condition typically sells for around $425,000, and sometimes even less if bought in bulk. Single coin listings may reach $216,000, but only when accompanied by free shipping or sold to a buyer who simply wants the date. Higher value examples, those in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, can go for several dollars, but damaged pieces hold mostly base metal value. In short, while not a rare or high value coin, it is still a fun and accessible collectible for beginners. If you own a 1948 shilling in bad condition, here are a few useful tips. First, avoid cleaning or polishing the coin even if it looks dull, because cleaning lowers both current and future value. Second, if you want to sell, consider grouping it with other old pre-decimal coins, as mixed lots often attract more buyers. Third, if you're a collector, try upgrading to a better condition piece. It's affordable, and higher grades show off the beautiful details of the design. Finally, store your coins in a dry place to prevent further deterioration, especially since cupronickel can develop unattractive surface marks over time. And that brings us to the end of our deep look into the United Kingdom 1 shilling 1948 in bad condition. Although these heavily worn examples do not carry significant rarity or monetary value, they remain charming pieces of British history that remind us of a very important time in the 20th century. Whether you're starting a new collection or simply exploring historical coins, the 1948 shilling is still an interesting find to appreciate. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from 1947. While many people might overlook coins in circulated or worn condition, the 1947 1 shilling has a story that makes it captivating for collectors and history enthusiasts alike. In this video, we'll explore its history, unique features, rarity, auction market value in US dollars, and some essential tips for collectors. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, this guide will give you a thorough understanding of this iconic coin. The 1947 1 shilling coin was minted shortly after World War II, during a period when Britain was recovering economically and socially from the devastation of the war. At this time, King George VI was on the throne, and his portrait adorned the obverse side of the coin. The shilling itself had been a fundamental unit in the British pre-decimal currency system, equivalent to 12 old pence. Post-war Britain saw a high demand for coins due to rebuilding efforts and everyday commerce. The 1947 shilling is part of a series of coins that symbolize resilience, as its production continued despite economic constraints and metal shortages in the immediate aftermath of the war. Collectors often view coins from this era as more than currency. They are tangible pieces of history that reflect a nation's recovery and the evolution of its minting practices. The 1947 1 shilling coin has several distinguishing features. On the obverse side, you will find a detailed portrait of King George VI, designed by the renowned engraver Humphrey Paget. The reverse features the traditional crowned lion passant, a design element that had been used on British shillings for decades, symbolizing strength and continuity. In terms of composition, the 1947 shilling is made of 50% silver, a significant factor that enhances its appeal to collectors. The coin's diameter is approximately 23.5 millimeters, with a weight of 5.65 grams, making it both lightweight and durable. Even in circulated condition, these coins often retain visible traces of the intricate lion design and the king's profile, which adds character and historical authenticity. One might assume that a coin in circulated or damaged condition holds little value, but that's not always the case. The 1947 1 shilling is relatively common compared to earlier or wartime issues, However, collectors often seek circulated examples to complete date sets or to appreciate the wear patterns that tell stories of everyday life. Coins with heavy circulation, scratches, or worn details are still collectible because they provide insight into the coin's journey through decades of use. Interestingly, certain minting variations from 1947, such as minor die cracks or slight design inconsistencies, can make even a circulated coin more desirable to specialized collectors. The combination of historical significance, silver content, and post-war context ensures that the 1947 shilling maintains a steady demand, even in less than perfect condition. When it comes to auction or resale value, the 1947 1 shilling in circulated condition is modestly priced compared to pristine uncirculated examples. On average, collectors can expect to pay between $324,000 depending on the level of wear, any visible minting errors, and overall eye appeal. Coins with extremely heavy wear may still sell within the lower end of this range. While examples with unique characteristics can command higher prices, it's important to note that the value can fluctuate based on silver prices and collector demand. Auctions often reveal that even common coins can achieve surprising prices if presented to the right audience, particularly among collectors seeking complete post-war sets. If you're considering adding a 1947 1 shilling to your collection, here are some tips to maximize value and enjoyment. Examine details carefully. Even circulated coins can have interesting variations or small errors that make them more valuable. Check silver content. Being 50% silver, the coin retains intrinsic metal value. So pay attention to the weight and signs of wear that may indicate damage. Avoid over-cleaning. Cleaning coins can significantly reduce their collector value. Natural patina and gentle wear are generally preferred. Compare market prices. Check auction results and online marketplaces to gauge fair pricing before purchasing. Consider historical context. Understanding the post-war significance of the coin can add personal and historical value to your collection. The United Kingdom 1 shilling from 1947 is more than just an old coin. It's a historical artifact that tells the story of post-war Britain. Even in circulated condition, it remains sought after by collectors for its silver content, historical significance, and charming design. Whether you are a casual collector or a dedicated numismatist, this coin offers a window into a transformative period in British history. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 shilling coin from 1951, specifically in fine condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into coin collecting, this coin holds unique appeal. In this video, we'll explore its history, distinctive features, rarity, market value, and offer some helpful tips for collectors looking to add it to their collection. Let's start with the history and background. The 1951 1 shilling coin was minted during the reign of King George VI, a period marked by post-war recovery and transformation in Britain. The 1 shilling, also referred to as a bob, was part of the pre-decimal currency system and held significant everyday value for citizens at the time. Despite being a common denomination, the 1951 issue stands out due to its relatively low mintage compared to earlier and later years, making it a fascinating coin for collectors today. Now, let's talk about its unique features. On the obverse, the coin features a finely detailed portrait of King George VI, facing left, with the inscription Georgiv 6DGBROMN Rex F laughing smiley INDIMP. The reverse showcases the iconic crowned lion passant over a shield, symbolizing the strength and heritage of the United Kingdom. Coins in fine condition display these details clearly, though there may be slight wear on the higher points of the design. It's this balance between wear and visible detail that collectors often find appealing. When it comes to rarity, coins from 1951 in fine condition are moderately rare. While not as scarce as uncirculated examples, they are significantly less common than circulated coins with heavier wear. Damaged or poorly preserved coins from this year are generally abundant, but those in fine condition, where the intricate details remain discernible and the coin retains a pleasing appearance, command attention among collectors. Demand is especially high from those completing sets or seeking historical pieces from the early 1950s. Moving on to market value. The 1951 1 shilling in fine condition typically fetches between $20 and $50 at auction, depending on demand and provenance. Coins with slightly better preservation or a well-documented history can occasionally exceed this range. While these numbers may seem modest compared to rare, high-grade coins, it's important to remember that even small investments in coins like this can appreciate over time, particularly if interest in mid-20th century British coins continues to grow among collectors worldwide. If you're looking to collect the 1951 1 shilling, here are some essential tips. First, always check the condition carefully. Fine condition means noticeable detail is preserved, though light wear may exist. Second, buy from reputable dealers or auction houses to ensure authenticity. Third, consider storing your coin in protective holders to maintain its current condition and prevent further wear. Finally, keep track of market trends. Prices can fluctuate, and knowing the right time to buy or sell can significantly impact your investment. In conclusion, The 1951 United Kingdom 1 shilling in fine condition is more than just a small piece of currency. It's a tangible connection to British history, a symbol of post-war Britain, and a collectible that continues to attract interest among numismatists. Whether you're aiming to start a collection or seeking a historical gem for your portfolio, this coin is a worthy addition. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more detailed coin insights.